I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. This map is scary and I don't like it. Today we're going to start our little adventure on customs for Chemical Part 2, which basically means I've got to go to dorms, which is my least favourite place on the map, but hey ho, we need to progress somehow. See, now I very much enjoy customs. I know most of the player spawns off by heart, and I'm starting to get comfortable in this map. Now don't get me wrong, I'm very much not immune from making stupid decisions. I do it a lot, but I learn from them, kind of, sometimes. Who knows? I just heard someone in big red. Now you guys constantly let me know in the comments that I really do need to slow down. Every week I'm convinced I'm slow, but I'm not. I'm still running around like a headless chicken. But today I promise you change. You're going to see some slightly different things going on. I'm still going to sit in corners every now and then like a little bitch and avoid things all the time. Did hear someone in big red. If this is your first video, I can assure you me getting kills is few and far between. This guy may have only had a blippy, but to be fair, the way I normally play, I fancied his chances if he saw me. Without getting too sucked into the loot in that area though, it was time for me to move on, because dorms is waiting for me. And by dorms I usually mean getting sent back to the lobby. Other than having better situational awareness and actually working on that, I need to be a little bit less scared to run towards fights every now and then. Not gonna lie to you, I've been playing a lot of Arena recently, just to get my crosshairs up. Whether or not that even translates in my EFT games, I do not know. Should have really bought grenades, shouldn't I? Going into dorms, I never really feel confident, seeing as the fact of CQB PvP is definitely not my bread and butter. Now, if I didn't have the attention span of a toddler, I actually wouldn't need to come back here. I had actually completed some of Chemical Part 2, but me being me, I decided to forget the fact that I need to pick up 2 items. Now, although that was a scav, notice how the crosshair placement was just a little bit higher. However, the one thing I will never promise you is consistency in my gameplay, so expect that to disappear at some point. What the fuck is it? I don't like having to Google things while I'm inside dorms. Okay, right, that's a fortress, so I can afford to do a bit of running now. One of the biggest problems, not only in Tarkov but in my adult life, is trying to avoid listening to the demons in my head. When I'm playing Tarkov, those demons get awfully loud, constantly telling me that I should go for more, because I'm playing well. What's the worst that can happen? Oh, I've got a task item on me, so I probably shouldn't. No. No, don't get sucked in. Like, you got 1 kill, don't get overzealous. You're not here for PMC kills, you're just here to get that shitey little letter that you forgot to grab the first time. Once again, although I am running in between the open ground, I am trying to make sure that none of these trees are going to bite me in the ass when I walk past them. What I've started to realise is I don't mind losing a fight, but what I do mind is losing a fight straight away because I didn't see him because I was being an idiot. Every corner is danger. That's what I've got to start thinking all the time. Now, although I got out of the raid within about 20 minutes, I played that a lot slower, went to my objective, didn't fuck about and left. That's what I need to do more often. Now it's time to pop to Reserve for Disease History, a map I really enjoy scav running on. Don't particularly enjoy playing it because the bunker scares the fuck out of me, I have no idea where I'm going half the time, and the only extract I'm comfortable with is going to the mountain climb. Seeing as I don't play Reserve too often, when I usually spawn as a PMC, I really don't know which way to go, the best paths, and also, I don't know where I'm going to get shot at from instantly. I feel like I've stopped momentum way too early. And because I have no knowledge of how best to get to where I need to go half the time on this map, I just end up sitting cover to cover. Okay, cool, so now I've got to think. Sitting here isn't the best idea, but it's better than running out into the open and getting killed straight away. I think my biggest fear in this game constantly is to run into an enemy without seeing him, like I did quite a lot in the last video. And I think that's what causes the inconsistencies in my movement, and that is compounded by the fact of here, I don't really know where the fuck to go. I know where the hospital building is, I just don't know the best way to get there. So I just end up sitting around, finding corners and just basically being a lemming for a little bit. I really don't know which route to take, because I need to go over there. The other option is to wait here. I'm fairly concealed. If anyone comes through there, I'm good. If anyone comes through there, I'm good. There might be a problem. I think waiting out might be the best idea. And oh boy, did I spend a lot of time waiting here. I'm starting to really wish there was a core skill that I could level up in this game. Sitting around and doing fuck all. When I have to move, I've got no choice. I recently got into the business of actually moving after I shoot things because it keeps you alive longer. Drama is that I was running across open ground and once again didn't quite know where players would be. It's okay because throughout the whole situation I remained calm and collected and never panicked once. Oh no. This is literally the worst place to probably be. There's no hole in the fence. Why is there no hole in the fence? Oh, dear God, give me a hole. Yep, as a grown man, I begged for a hole. And after that display of calmness, I found myself inside the hospital building to try and find these two little folders for therapist. And I'm not gonna lie to you, every time I go into a building in this game, my heart rate hits 180 and it doesn't fucking move from there for about 10 minutes. I'm starting to wonder if I have to tell my doctor that I play this game. So what did I do here? I just decided to do a little bit of looting and treat myself for once, because sometimes looting makes me happy. And after that, we resort to my favourite tactic, which I think we all know what it is. Due to there being a lot of gunfire outside, I thought it best that I sit here and sit tight, and I'm going to not move from here until I have to. But then I could hear scavs running around everywhere, so it was only a matter of time before one of them came to ruin my day. Now that heart rate of 180 is really about to show itself. Stop panicking! Okay, now I'm forced to move. I'll just get to the clip percent and leave. Now I'm not embarrassed to admit it took me a few minutes to calm down. Because the second I have task items inside me, I get as nervous as a kid who just spilled coke on the carpet waiting for his mum to beat the shit out of him with a wooden spoon. Now, it may not have been pretty in that raid, especially my little debacle of a bunch of scavs chasing me through a hospital, but we're alive, and I'm extracting. So we just move on to the next one. We move on to Chemical Part 3. And for Chemical Part 3, I've got to head to Factory, my favourite place. Now, I've spawned in this part before, and in the comments, please let me know if there's a better way to get into the building from there, because it's just always bad news for me. This is going to be a rough task. Oh, I don't really know what to do in this spawn. I had a pretty simple plan here after the PvP experience I just had. Sneak around all the way to that breach room and find that injector, and relive my college years and avoid every single piece of conflict I can hear. Sneaking around. There's a fucker around here somewhere. However, the fucker never appeared. So let's go clear that top building as quietly as I possibly can. Note to self, if you hear a shotgun go off downstairs, don't mistake it for your grenade, because sometimes you might blow your own leg off. Realising that Ruckus was downstairs, my only option was to run to gate 0 as fast as I possibly could. It would seem that I'm spending most of my day-to-day making skier like me, because now we're going to head back to customs for Chemical Part 4 and stick a tracker, which is probably extraordinarily legal, underneath this van. A good habit I have picked up recently is making sure that players around me that spawn don't become a problem for me, so I do like to look around the area a bit more before I start running around across the water. So I've learned from past experiences, if you've seen the videos, that checking across the water is also quite useful as well. Always a little bit shit going over here. Was hoping that I had more patience than the guy that spawned over there. Now I do like these quests, because all I've got to do is place a marker, wait 20 seconds, and then you're usually golden. However, because I've spawned on the other side of the map, I've actually got to play the whole thing and make sure I sort of survive to the end so I can complete the task. And with my whopping 41% survival rate as a PMC, I fancy my chances. Okay, right, good news is I checked that corner, and dead scav. One other thing I'm fully aware I should start doing more is relying on my PMC to actually do some looting, because mainly for the XP to level up quicker, which makes flea market more accessible, which makes my life easier. I need those scissors. I need to get out this fucking raid. I need these scissors. I can hardly contain myself here because I need those scissors for a hideout upgrade. Right. So I've been killed a few times from that building, so now we're going to take note of that. Have a little look-see. If you've made it this far in the video, I'd like to thank you so far. And if you enjoyed the content with the PvE to PvP journey, why don't you join the channel? Join the Union. That was a lot of fucking scavs. Right, now I'm running in the open like I had this chicken again. There is a player nearby. Fuck. Question is, will I be able to see him before he sees me? Ah, that's probably why there's shooting going on over here. There's an airdrop right over there. I spent the last 5 minutes quite confused. I heard footsteps, stopped hearing footsteps, heard footsteps, heard more footsteps, then some random shooting, and then an airdrop. I think I made a good decision to wait here, because I just heard a lot of footsteps. Wow. Wow indeed. Yes, I did wait for a better position, but then completely whiffed the shots by about a foot to the right. I'm also fairly confident the last bullet in my magazine killed him by hitting him in the leg. And that's the end of Chemical Part 4. I decided to fuck Skier off and give the quest to Therapist, because I want that juicy injector case. Scared called me a bastard. I could end the video here on the Chemical series, but I've decided, no, I don't want to today. Because ideally for me to figure out the best way to do YouTube is to try different things, and I want to do a longer video. So congratulations if you got this far. Peacekeeper's got this weird thing where he wants to dress up as a blueberry and go around dishing out justice. So we're going to swap out all the good kit and go around looking like this. I'm feeling good about this one. Fuck it, I might as well just go straight to resort from here. Getting a decent spawn dressed in my new blueberry form, I thought it would be best just to rush the health resort. Because the first UN truck that I need to mark is right at the back of it. And that's quite a PvP hotspot and it scares the living fuck out of me. Ideally I want to get that one out of the way first. So by my calculation, no one should be spawning this side of resort. I mean, it doesn't take a genius really to have Map Genie up on your second monitor, but yes, I calculated it for sure. And then that's the danger. Fuck about stamina, man. Well, that was a player. Spoiler alert, it definitely wasn't. Actually, I've decided this is my new favourite thing to do, is to like listen to old me play the game and then slag myself off as I edit the video. Mr. Man, can you please show me your head? Please, thank you. Oh no, it was a scav. So far, 2 scavs down, an MRE found, and the UN truck nipped. So now, just go to the other UN truck, hopefully find 7 more scavs and, I don't know, 3 more MREs. A poster. Don't mind if I do. I took it slow and methodical across the other side of the map, and there literally was nothing to show you until I got to the truck. The 2 UN vehicles successfully planted. As far as I'm concerned, that was probably the most annoying part of the mission. Now all I had to do was go and kill loads of scavs. It would seem when I'm not looking for scavs, I find all of them, but the second that I am trying to look for them, I seem to be a scav repellent. Player. Geared player. No. You know what? When in Rome. I'm going to stalk him. It's a bit of a long shot, but he's got a better weapon than me, so I need to make sure he stands still while I get a shot on. I think I made a decent decision not shooting then. Surprisingly, I think I played this quite well. I assessed the situation and realised that I would have to probably make that shot in 1 before he turned and banged me with his DVL. I definitely liked my confidence and spirit, thinking I could hunt him down, but we move on to try and find some scavs. When I got down there, nobody was home. It would seem the pier had been abandoned for the day. So I smashed out a little bit of looting and then went to the most fun extract on this map. Now, while bobbing and weaving in the pier, I was told by my mate that basically if somebody's good at the game and they see you doing this, they'll just shoot you in the leg and then shoot you in the head anyway. Isn't that a jolly little thought? Right, get to resort, kill scavs. Simple. The getting to resort part might be the hardest bit. At this point in the day, my anxiety in this map had reached an all-time peak, so I was like a jittery chipmunk staring at every fucking tree I could see because I was convinced it was going to shoot back at me. I was pretty happy that I saw this bloke, because it means that my eyes are starting to work when I play this game, which means that less people are going to start getting the drop on me, and I'm going to start seeing it before it happens. That's not ideal. Okay, I just one-tapped a PMC. I'm spreading all kinds of fucking peace at the moment. There was absolutely no way in hell I was going to go near that man's dog tag because of the guy that was previously on the rocks. But I do want to get to the health resort because that's where the scavs spawn the most apparently. Okay, so I've killed a PMC and I've killed Sanitar. This is pleasing me. Now, I had spent a while around the resort listening. I could hear quite a few scavs, so I thought it was time for me to actually go in and start shooting things. Now, I shit you not, that scav that ran right disappeared completely. Now, I sat in this little hut looking through these windows like the voyeur I was, but it was time for me to actually move because nothing was happening. Shitting hell. Right, Well, I mean, that was a player. As a player, Scav. So after getting shot at a resort, running down, killing a player Scav, looping back up, shooting the sniper Scav, it was time for me to go all the way back to the village. Because at this point, I only had to get a few Scavs. And if I can do it in one raid, golden. And there ain't many places I want to go back to where Scavs spawn. But similar to the pier, no one was home, so I did some looting, and then headed to the extract. We'll reset and do it in the next raid. Rather than find all the MREs and raid, I was letting my hideout do all the work, and I was making them myself, so now all I had to do was kill 2 Scavs in the next raid to complete this task entirely. At the time of playing, I thought I'd give a little look over here, because I think that's where the goons can spawn, but I wasn't certain. Keeping to my new mantra, I was taking my time in these woods and checking every bush. I could taste the end of this task. All I had to do was kill 2 Scavs and I get that lovely little sound of dopamine in my ear saying I completed the task. I do need to be quick up this hill, only because I was on the other end of the sight line last time. What kind of shit luck do I have? Oh, good heavens. I know I want scav kills, but I don't want those scav kills. Now, I checked where the goons spawn and I didn't see them, but it would seem that they saw me and I didn't know they existed at the moment. So now I was expecting the other 2 to start running towards me like absolute lunatics, and all I could do was sit and hide. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. This map is scary and I don't like it. Now, I'm not entirely sure how the goons work still, but I know there's one of them that walks around without making a single noise, so I was constantly paranoid that he was coming after me. However, because I'm an arrogant man, I was convinced that this wasn't happening to me and I'm just going to make it to extract and be completely fine. Oh, fuck. Now, that was the first time I've ever had to try using an ejector case in PvP, so yes, I completely fucked that one up. But all these raids were captured in a single day, and it was probably the most progress I'd made since starting this journey. And if you made it this far into the video, thank you very much for putting up with me for about 25 minutes. That's a long time to deal with me. I look forward to making the next video, and I will see you next week.